Welcome to Sports Biz with LD. I am your host, Larry Davis, brought to you by the Daily Blue. Let's get right into it. You know, you try to put a show together, and that's the problem or the good thing about sports. You put a show together, and then all of a sudden, you get this, which was totally not in the cards. I mean, the King gives up back-to-back 6-goal games. I got to tell you, of course, unfortunately, Andy didn't help me because he was with me in an event last night with John Starks, but so I don't know when's the last time a goalie gave up back-to-back 6-goal games during a Stanley Cup playoff run. And if they did, I doubt they ended up winning. I mean, the only way the King can make up for it is if the King can win the series. And it doesn't look like the Rangers and the King can do it. Even though the Rangers did score 5 goals, but is that going to happen again? And, you know, the interesting thing about the King, and I remember when Cam Talbot had his unbelievable run when the King was hurt. I mean, ridiculous run. I don't have the stats in front of me, but it was ridiculous. 900 winnings, say he's probably like 20-3, 20-4, but we name him the King. And why? I mean, what really has the King done? Yes, his record in Game 7s and playoffs is unbelievable. And it's great that he's got this nickname and he markets it, and I've been with him and I met him, and he's a great guy. He's not a good guy, he's a great guy. And he gets everything, treats people great. But on the ice, is he a king? Okay, he won a gold medal with Sweden, but what does that do for the Ranger fans? Has he won a cup here? No. And let's not forget, last year I was all over him because 3 straight games, okay, Rangers were up by 2 goals. He let up 3 straight goals. Think about that. I know he's the King, and, you know, but what is an unbelievable save? An unbelievable save is when they make an unbelievable save, and that's a winning save. So in those games, he gave up 3 goals in a row. That's the King. That's this guy that we all want to say is such an unbelievable goaltender. Well, you want to know something? He's not better than Mike Richter. Why? Because Richter won a cup. And it just shows you in goaltending, and maybe it's a bad analogy, but I'll throw it out there, just like a closer in baseball. Yeah, you got a token few on one hand who are great year in and year out, but it just seems that people find a closer by committee. Meaning, in spring training, this guy's doing it, I think he can do it, boom, and the guy has a great year. Doesn't mean he does it again the next year, but he has a great year that year. And it helps you get to the playoffs and hopefully win the World Series. So get back to the King, and in hockey playoffs, it's always a hot goaltender that takes his team to the Cup Finals and sometimes wins. It's not usually the great goaltenders. And until the King does that, look at that. It's the King of pain. And then after the Rangers score all those goals and tie it up, 3 minutes into the overtime, he lets a goal in. King, come on. You got to make a stop. I don't care. 6 goals in back-to-back games. Sorry, that is unacceptable. I'm sure he feels like crap, but I don't care that he feels like crap. We as Ranger fans feel like crap. The King. And I said to a lot of people, listen, he's got to have one lousy game. He's got to. He's just too good. Every game's 2-1, 1-0, 3-2. He is great. I got that. But at the end of the day, when it matters, he wasn't here. So the only way the King can make him back into us Ranger fans' good graces, and there'll be plenty of them, oh, I still love him. Listen, I don't love anyone unless they're winning for us. Okay? Look at Patrick Ewing. We didn't realize what we had with Patrick Ewing until he left. How great Patrick was. Ended up being a top 50 player of all time. But he never won a title. That's the problem with Patrick. He never won a title. The King, until he wins a Stanley Cup, he can stand on his head and do all this kind of stuff. Letting up back-to-back 6-goal games. Like I said, the only way the King can make it right is for the Rangers to end up winning this series. And there's only one way they're winning this series, if the King is the King. And he has not been the King in the last 2 games. All that stuff on the King and the Rangers. Larry Davis, we'll be back after this commercial break.
everyone, I'm Corinne Caro here with Daniel M., host of Front Row on the Daily Blue. Daniel, you've been doing a great job. I love having you here at the Daily Blue. A little close right here. Tell us what you look for in a guest.
You know what? I like when people have a certain style and an opinion about fashion, fitness, grooming, anything that really is an inspiration to the viewers.
I've noticed I've never been on your show, Daniel.
Well, we're going to have to fix that.
Oh, so I do have style?
You do have style.
Winning.
Doesn't mean we can't go shopping, though.
Oh, great. See you on the Front Row every week on thedailyblue.com. Thanks so much.
Welcome back to Sports Biz with LD. I am your host, Larry Davis. Let's keep it local today. I mean, why not? Let's get into the Mets, the Yankees. Let's talk about everybody. So let's get into the Mets first. So now the Mets are out of first place. The whole thing. If they didn't have that 11-game winning streak, which no one thought it would happen, I don't think anyone ever thinks any team's going to have an 11-game winning streak, where would the Mets be? So now they're not in first place. They're a game out with the Washington Nationals. All we're going to start hearing is, let's get rid of Terry Collins. Well, let's talk about something that no one has talked about. And, of course, I'm always thinking differently than everyone else. Where is this great hitting coach, Kevin Long? Oh, he was great. He's with the Yankees. Listen, he had superstars over with the Yankees. So now the Mets bring him over because they fired their guys last year thinking that's what they needed. So now they fired them, bringing Kevin Long from the Yankees because the Yankees didn't want him back for whatever reason that is. So now they get rid of Kevin Long. Who's batting well for the Mets? They signed Michael Kadaya, who won a batting title a couple of years ago. He's batting .240. Okay? Lucas Duda. Let's get to Lucas Duda, the big stud first baseman. Last year he hits 30 homers, 80, 90 ribbies. What's he doing now? Beginning of the year, he tore the cover off the ball. Okay, his numbers are still respectable. I think he's got like 3 homers, maybe like 13 ribs. He's batting like 280, 290. That's respectable, but we're a quarter way into the season. You take Lucas Duda's numbers and times it by 4. He's got 12 homers. Yeah, I know, maybe he'll go on the streak, but the season started, and who is hitting well? And listen, you're the hitting coach. You're Kevin Long. So who could it be? Who has Kevin Long done a good job with? His prize guy, Curtis Granderson, when he was at the Yankees, Curtis was unbelievable, and Curtis is batting leadoff, so that has nothing to do with him batting leadoff that he can't hit homers, maybe knocking many runs, but he's got very few, less than 5 home runs. He's another one batting less than 250. Yeah, he's got a good on-base percentage as a leadoff hitter because he got a lot of walks, but he's not hitting well. Daniel Murphy, who leads the team in RBIs, who's a 290 career hitter, is batting 240, 250. So who is listening to Kevin Long and doing anything good about it? Nobody. Nobody. And no one's talking about Kevin Long. I don't know why. And I listen, I'm the first guy to tell you, I think hitting coach is baloney anyhow. But that's in baseball. They got hitting coach, running coach, pitching coach. But maybe a pitching coach is a little more important. A bench coach. Any other coach we're missing? I'm surprised they don't have a hitting coach just for lefties and a hitting coach for righties. Why not? Have another coach. What has Kevin Long done for the Mets? Nothing. I haven't seen anything that he's done for the Mets. If the Mets don't have the pitching they have, where would they be? And again, Sandy loves Terry Collins. So we have no idea who he might put as the manager. But let me tell you something. You start reading the paper. I didn't see it in today's paper, but bottom line is people are going to be talking about Terry Collins' job. And again, like I said, no one talking about Kevin Long. Nobody. Remember, I'm the first one to bring up the Kevin Long thing. So what's going to happen to the Mets, I don't know. Sit here and tell me, Travis d'Arnaud was hurt. Okay, yeah, he was having a good season. Okay. One player. Mets don't hit that well. They have very good pitching. There's no doubt about it. They needed the big bopper. They didn't want to go out and get Nelson Cruz. Didn't do it last year. Didn't do it this year. Nelson Cruz just probably leading the AL in homers, ribbies, and batting over 300. But hey, why would Sandy want to sign him? I mean, we can go on and on and on. Let's just move over to the Yankees, Yankees went on a road trip. I think they went 2-7. That really showed because they went and played some good teams. The only way the Yankees are going to make it, and I said earlier in the season, the Yankees will make it because the AL East sucks. They're terrible. So the Yankees in the first month and a half of the season, all they did was pounce on the AL East, as they should, and they're in first place. The Rays are a game out, and there's really not much competition for the Yankees in the East. So the Yankees, like I said early before the season started, they'll probably make the playoffs and win the division because everybody sucks. American League sucks. There's no one in that league. Who's there? Houston? Yeah, you heard me, Houston. That's leading the league. You got Kansas City, you got Detroit. Okay. Yankees will make the playoffs. And the Yankees got one player hitting over 300. That's Ellsbury. Now he's on the DL. What else is new for Ellsbury? He's always on the DL. Got Brett Gardner probably batting about 290. And everyone else is 260, 250 or less with a $230 million payroll. It's just amazing. The Yankees are terrible at that kind of money. And the Yankees aren't going anywhere anyhow. Even if they made the playoffs. And now their pitching is falling apart. Who knows? Maybe they won't make the playoffs, but they should, with as weak as division as that is. Move on to a little football. You see the Roger Goodell and his boy Robert Kraft. Now everyone made up. Robert's taking all the stuff, the fine, the suspension of draft picks, not suspension of draft picks, suspension of Tom Brady and the lost draft picks. He realizes, what is he fighting? You know, I'm sure him and Goodell made some sort of side deal, and who cares? There's nothing wrong with that. Make your deals. This is what life is. Everybody talking and friendly and making it happen. You know, we're trying in the news, we're trying to figure out how it happened. Who cares how it happened? He went up there, said he's taking it. Whatever they're dishing out, he's taking it. Does that mean that Tom Brady's going to take his 4 games and not try to reduce it? I don't know. If I'm Tom Brady, I'm trying to reduce it. That's 2 game checks. It's big money. And he wants to play. So why wouldn't he? But that is the battle with the NFL. I mean, going back and forth. But now at least Robert Kraft has thrown in the white flag and said he's going to take his punishment like a man because he doesn't want to become like some people say, like the Al Davis. I don't know where that's coming from. Al Davis fought everything. Robert Kraft has never fought anything. And, you know, one more thing I'll leave. Well, 2 last things I want to leave you with. One, I saw in the paper that the Jets have anointed Geno Smith as the starting quarterback. Wow. Jets, you got Geno Smith. Boy, that's going to be another long year. You might win on defense, and you might win if he doesn't make a mistake, but he will make mistakes. One last thing I'm going to leave you on is the Knicks getting the fourth pick. Yeah, it sucks. With the way they played, they should have had first to second, but at the end of the day, how many first picks of the draft have really become superstars? You need to find the talent. Stephon Curry, our MVP this year, was drafted, 6, 7, 8? Wasn't drafted first. And he's the MVP of the league. Right? Remember, Michael Jordan was picked second, not first. You go down and look at the drafts and see there's tons of talent. You need to find them. Doesn't mean the top pick will always be the best player. Boy, it's amazing how quick it is. Gotta thank Daily Blue. This is Sports Biz with LD. I'm your host, Larry Davis.
Hi, I'm Laura Sikorsky, show host of Sikorsky's Thinkabouts on the Daily Blue. Our show is for our guests and I to share our expertise and thinkabouts that will help you provide outstanding services and experiences to your customers. Join us every Monday at 11.